In the July of in July of 2019, I had the opportunity to present conference papers at three Indonesian universities in Mataram on Lombok, and that's over here, in Suryakarta, which is over here listed as Solo, and in Yogyakarta on mainland Java. Um, this came out of a 2019 National Endowment for the Humanities Institute that I was in, focused on Islam in Asia. Dr. Nellie Van Dorn Harder um, was the person who put this all together, and I was just thrilled to take part. Sarah and I decided that we should take the opportunity to visit additional locations, so we actually start in Bali before we do this trip, hitting Borobudur along the way. Then we make it out to Jakarta as well, and we decided on the way back home, why not do what will be part two of this sabbatical log, go through Cambodia. In this particular set of images, you can see this is a tropical place. This is the kind of fruit that you can get with breakfast, all delicious. And on the right, you can see the national monument. Indonesia is not like other countries. It is a unique place in that it is the largest population of Muslims. It's also very pluralist, accepting several religions, and it is a democracy. So I was really intrigued to see what the country had to offer. But first we started in Bali, and we never start off this way, but we started the trip off with a little relaxation, staying at Kejora Suites Resort. And this is an infinity pool in the shade, which was kind of important because it was hot and humid weather, 80s and 90s, super humid. But there was also a local flavor here. Up in this corner is this thing, which is a little Hindu shrine. This I mentioned that Indonesia is a majority Muslim country, but Bali is majority Hindu. So you see that kind of flavor, as well as the kind of flavors in the lower right, like nasi goreng, which is a slightly spicy fried rice served for breakfast. This is also a place that has several ethnic groups, and Chinese, ethnically Chinese people are one of the largest of those ethnic minorities. So we took a leisurely day along the beach, and then we decided to try local flavors. This is 10 samples of Balinese cuisine with French and Chinese twists at a place called Char Ming, which is pretty funny. And the restaurant features antique Balinese woodcrafts. But I think the thing I'm going to point out here for you is that when you're in Bali, you get a lot of wet towels and little sweet juices, and it's really refreshing. And that they brought this tiny chair for Sarah's purse, which we thought was absolutely adorable. So after taking our one leisurely day, we decided to explore Bali culture. We attended a gamelan performance, which is a dance performance that tells a Hindu tale here with bronze percussion instruments and a few flutes playing. It was absolutely incredible. To the lower right is the Pura Tirta Empu, which is a Hindu temple. People are coming here to bathe in the natural spring waters, their holy waters, and it is in the shadow of one of the presidential palaces. So you can see it's a really kind of complex place. We then took off to see a few sites, and anybody who knows my work knows that I absolutely love rock carved monuments. So here are two of the big highlights of the day. Too many to put into a cast like this, but Gunung Kawi is on the left. These are royal monuments. Those are like they're super tall. They're like 27 feet tall. Goagaja, the elephant caves, are on the right. These are absolutely magnificent, and they showcase a time where Buddhist and Hindu ideas mixed freely in Bali. On our last day in Bali, we decided to visit the most important living Hindu shrine on the island, which is Pura Luhur Uluwatu. And the locals sometimes just call it Uluwatu. And this is an absolutely amazing temple. As you can see on the left, it's actually closed to non-Hindu visitors, and it's only open for ceremonies. But we knew this, and what we went to go see is its absolutely beautiful location on this cliffside. And right over here, you can see the temple top, this pagoda-like structure. So we thought, on the way back to the hotel, why not sample the local seafood, which is a theme in all of my trips. And we decided to do so in style. So right here you can actually see a drive-in where we had to hire drivers because Indonesian traffic is crazy. So your driver drives you in and you get out and you pick your seafood, including this multicolored lobster on the left, and then you go hang out on the beach and it comes out to you grilled. It was a bit of doing it up tourist style, but I think you have to do that once in a while. So after that, we left Bali by boat and went to the university on Lombok. And I want to thank Dr. Mohammed Abu Nasser and the Universitas Mataram for this amazingly organized and incredibly hospitable visit. Lombok is simply it's gorgeous like Bali, but it has fewer buildings and fewer tourists, so there's a really different feel to it. Um, the food will be a big theme there. So I'll start with durian. Durian is a fruit that's known for being really stinky, but a lot of people think it really tastes great. And it was really funny, we looked in the literature the hotel had provided with all kinds of local information they have here. Durian is a delicious fruit, but please do not bring it onto the property. And as you can see in the hotel elevator, they have a no durian please crossed out sign. We were actually not successful in finding durian, but we were treated to all kinds of amazing food by the folks who organized the place, and we found out something really important. Actually, two things that are really important. Lombok is really known for its hot chilies, and it lives up to that. And two, satay is not just a Thai word; it kind of means any type of skewer dish, and it's used throughout Southeast Asia. So, in between visits to universities, we took the time away from conferences to stay near Borobudur, and this is an as you can see here a monument that's a man-made mountain. It's a Buddhist mountain, thousands of sculptures, and I really wanted to get there and get better pictures than I could find in books and provide more of a visual tour for my classes. I'm very happy with that. Um, I now have images where you can go up from the figural parts at the bottom that talk about this world to the formless world at the top, and these are pictures that I took of these stupa-like hollow structures, and then I slid my camera in and was able to get a picture of one of the Buddhas that's inside holding the teaching mudra. And on the way to the next university, why not stop by and see things that you just can't get elsewhere? So we went to Gidong Songo, which is a set of some of the earliest Hindu temples on the island. Absolutely beautiful on the side of a mountain, and the great Mosque of Demak with its unique pagoda-like structure and a minaret right here. And this is the pagoda-like structure, like you wouldn't find in other places. I want to thank Professors Nur Fatah Abedin and Mega Hidayati, and everyone at Sebelas Maret University in Surakarta for such a wonderful experience. Here you can see on this international conference flyer that they made Modesto Junior College, up with Wake Forest, Wesley, Bucknell, and Loyola, right where it belongs. We were given, you were fed like crazy, and so you're given all kinds of snacks all over the campus. And on the right, you can see the kind of pudding and mochi snacks that you get all over the place. It's a wonderful kind of mixture of Asian aesthetics. And we were invited by even the vice rector to a Islamic pop concert. So you see the pop group Sabien playing in the bottom. Followed the next day by a meeting with the rector. These guys rolled out the red carpet, and it was really fantastic. Our final conference was at Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. And I want to thank everyone involved in this huge international event. The hospitality was amazing, and it included a day of touring local sites with even another trip to Borobudur. Um, they simply have a gorgeous campus. It's huge, international, beautiful. I'd also like to thank my friends at the NEH, from the NEH Institute. Dr. Nellie Van Dorn Harder here is doing a signing ceremony with the university folks. And Dr. Bethany Collier, Dr. Ethan Hockley, and Dr. Leslie Mickelson, who were on that NEH trip with me, as well as some new friends, Dr. Michelle Browers, Dr. Elizabeth Clendenning, and Professor Billy Freeville, for being such wonderful colleagues and traveling partners. Traffic in Indonesia is, as I mentioned, crazy. So one site that the other scholars missed was Prambanan. Fortunately, Sarah and I had scheduled an extra day to explore it, so we were able to spend the day studying the temple, uh, which is sort of the monument that's at the height of Indonesia, classical Indonesian Hindu stone architecture, and managed to see a couple of other dozen sites in the environs around. Um, this includes individual temples to Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, plus three temples for their mounts. And on the walkways of each, you can actually see carvings from the Ramayana. In the photo to the left, you can really see the connection between Borobudur and Gyeongsongo, and then Prambanan here. From there, we left for Jakarta, where we concentrated on modern Indonesia. And this is the Monas, the national monument that I showed you before. It's an image that's combined of Hindu, Buddhist, and Islamic elements that makes for an incredibly beautiful and synthetic kind of statement. So night and day here. And on our final day in Jakarta, we explored the National Cathedral, which was erected by the Dutch, and the National Mosque, which is much newer. Um, they're right next to each other, and there's no conflict. Uh, Religion's an important part of life in Indonesia, but people can be very subtle about it, and they're allowed to go about their sort of religious ways. So we found in a drawer at our hotel in Jakarta this arrow, and that arrow indicates the direction of Mecca for prayer. Of course, we explored local cuisine, but we also tried colonial cuisine, a couple of things we could get a hold of in Jakarta that weren't available elsewhere. So on the left, you can see a more traditional satay with the hottest sambal that I've ever had. It was incredibly hot, really good. And on the bottom, a durian dessert with mochi in it. To the right, you can see the colonial foods. And on the top is a small pie made with ox tongue. And on the bottom is a chicken that has been deboned and stuffed with a mixture of its own meat mixed with liver and then hard boiled eggs in the middle. It's got salads around it and a potato au gratin pie. Both were really good, but I have to say, the colonial food was much heavier. From there, we took off to Cambodia, which will be the next sabbatical log.